A few hours from now, you'll be standing in the middle of a Greek plaza out of Eros, with a king in love with a goat, a priestess trying to strangle you with her bare hands, and a satyr writing love poetry to a statue, which, by the way, you never even shot. That happened on its own. I personally would have already handed in my resignation, but hold on. Let's go back to the beginning. Today, you woke up, but you are Eros, the god of love, the guy with the arrows, the one directly responsible for every happy marriage, every broken heart, every stupid decision someone has ever made at 3 in the morning. Congratulations, you open your eyes in your room on Olympus. The ceiling is polished white marble, the air smells of ambrosia and rose petals, and the golden light of dawn streams through a window with no curtains, because apparently, when you're the god of love, privacy is an optional concept. Your wings are folded behind your back, and for some reason one of them is numb. You slept on it. Immortal, divine, drop-dead gorgeous, and yet you wake up with pins and needles in your left wing like a mortal who fell asleep on their arm. You sit up in bed and make a radical decision. Today is your day off. No arrows, no romance, no drama. You are going to do absolutely nothing. It will be the most peaceful day Olympus has ever seen. I would love to say this plan is going to work. I really would. But I've already seen how this day ends, so I'll just sit back and watch with my cosmic popcorn. The first thing you do is hide your quiver of arrows. You shove it under the bed, cover it with a cloth, and kick it toward the back wall. No arrows, no temptation. Genius. You notice one of the arrows has a strange glow, different from the others, a golden pulse that almost seems to breathe. But that's a problem for later. Right now, the goal is breakfast. You head down to the Great Hall of Olympus, and the first thing you see is Aphrodite, your mother, sitting on a golden throne, being fanned by 3 nymphs while she eats grapes. She looks you up and down and makes that face. You know which face. The face that says, "I know what you're planning and I already disapprove." You tell her today is your day off. She laughs. Not an "how funny, son" laugh. It's a "poor thing he actually thinks that's possible" laugh. You ignore her and grab an apple. I need to pause here and explain something. Eros without arrows is like a chef without a knife. Technically still a chef, but in practice just standing there, staring at the ingredients with a look of quiet defeat. The problem is that love doesn't take days off. Love is like that coworker who texts you on Sunday night. Always present, always inconvenient. You barely finish the apple when a messenger arrives, breathless. Apparently, down below in Athens, things are getting complicated. Without Eros's arrows in play, couples are starting to look at each other and realize that actually they can't stand each other. A couple that was supposed to get married today decided they'd rather not. Another couple is fighting because, without the haze of love, she's realized he's been chewing with his mouth open for 40 years. Keep that little detail about Athens in mind, because the damage is going to be much worse than couples bickering over table manners. You try to ignore it. Day off. Olympus can sort itself out. You walk to the garden of the gods, lie down in the grass among immortal flowers, and close your eyes. The sun is perfect. The breeze is gentle. Divine birds sing a melody that would make any mortal weep with emotion. 30 seconds of peace. 30 glorious seconds. Then Hermes shows up. Hermes doesn't walk. Hermes materializes. One moment he isn't there. The next, he's 2 inches from your face with that grin of someone who brings bad news and finds it funny. According to him, the situation in Athens has gotten worse. Without Eros's influence nearby, it isn't just couples. The poets have stopped writing. The musicians have stopped playing. An entire city is having a collective existential crisis because, without love in the air, everything seems a bit pointless. I would be worried in your position, but I'm also not the guy who hid his arrows under the bed like a kid hiding a report card with bad grades. So my opinion might be biased. You keep resisting. A day off is a day off. But then Hermes drops the bombshell. The king of Athens, without the influence of love, has canceled all festivities, banned poetry from the court, and declared that marriage is an administrative waste of time. He's converting the temple of Aphrodite into a grain storage. This is the moment you hear a sound coming from the Great Hall of Olympus that can best be described as the sound of a goddess of beauty discovering that someone is turning her temple into a warehouse. It isn't a scream. It's something worse than a scream. It's a frozen silence, followed by footsteps footsteps that make the marble tremble. Eventually, something is going to explode, but you're in a hurry. Aphrodite is furious, and thinking about consequences is for mortals. You fly to Athens. Your wings cut through the Greek sky like golden blades. From above, the city looks normal, but when you land, the scene is desolate. Couples sitting in silence, looking in opposite directions. Poets tearing up their own scrolls. A florist throwing roses in the trash. It's as if someone had sucked all the emotional color out of the city and left only bureaucratic gray. If you're enjoying this romantic disaster as much as I am, the least you can do is drop a like and subscribe. It's free, it doesn't hurt, and it guarantees you'll see the next chaotic day of another character. Because yes, it gets worse. It always gets worse. You draw the first arrow, the overcharged one, the one that glows. Terrible choice for a first attempt, but who am I to judge? You aim at a young man sitting alone on a bench, clearly sad. The arrow flies and hits him in the chest. The effect is immediate and completely disproportionate. Instead of falling for the girl walking by, he falls in love with everything. The girl, the bench, the plaza, the abstract concept of Tuesday. He starts hugging a marble column and declaring eternal love. The people around him can't decide whether to call a doctor or a poet. Fine. Overcharged arrow. Makes sense. You grab another, a regular one. You aim at a couple that's arguing. The arrow hits the woman and she falls in love with the man behind her husband, the fishmonger, who, by coincidence, just got hit by a second arrow that ricocheted off something and is now in love with the goat that was carrying his fish. You are creating a chain of love so tangled it would need a diagram to understand. I need to interrupt for a second. I've seen Zeus cause problems. I've seen Ares destroy things. I've seen Hermes steal everything that wasn't nailed down. But no god causes as much accidental destruction as Eros with overloaded arrows. It's like handing a bazooka to someone who only needed a matchstick. You try to be more careful. You aim with surgical precision at a lonely poet. A perfect shot. The poet falls in love with his own poetry. He starts reading his verses aloud, weeping, kissing the scroll. Technically, it worked. He's loving something. It's not what you planned, but it's love. You accept the partial victory. The next 2 hours are basically you running through Athens, trying to fix the damage while creating new damage. Every arrow is a lottery. One hits a soldier who falls in love with the idea of peace, which makes him drop his sword and start handing out flowers, causing a considerable national security concern. Another hits a priestess who falls in love with the sacred fire of the temple and tries to hug the flames. A third hits 2 political rivals simultaneously, and now they're holding hands in the Senate, proposing laws together while everyone around them tries to process what's happening. Remember the king who canceled everything and converted the temple into a warehouse? A stray arrow flew in through the palace window, and now the king of Athens is in the middle of the plaza, declaring undying love for the first thing he saw when the arrow struck him, which was a goat. A perfectly ordinary brown goat, just standing there, eating grass with absolutely no awareness of being involved in a royal scandal. The king is kneeling, offering his crown to the goat. His advisors are having a collective breakdown. The goat is chewing grass. I can say with confidence that this is the lowest point of Athenian monarchy. That strange glowing arrow from this morning, the one that seemed to breathe, you finally understand why. It isn't a regular love arrow. It's an obsessive love arrow, and it has been sitting in your quiver for months, building up potency, and it just fell out of the quiver onto the ground and ricocheted and hit the priestess of Aphrodite's temple, the very last person who should ever be hit, because priestesses of Aphrodite already live devoted to love, and overloading, that is like pouring gasoline on a volcano. The priestess looks around. Her eyes find you. Eros, the god of love in person, and the effect of the obsessive arrow combined with her pre-existing devotion creates something you weren't expecting. She hates you with a passion that inverts love into fury. Because in her mind, you and I, the god of love, are responsible for the chaos in the city, for the desecration of her goddess's temple, and for the goat that is apparently now queen of Athens, and she isn't entirely. And wrong. You are being chased by the priestess through the streets of Athens while the young man still hugs the column, the fishmonger serenades the goat, the poet kisses his scrolls, and the king tries to place a tiny crown on the head of a second goat because the first one ran away. The entire city is a living canvas of every kind of love gone wrong, and all because you wanted to take a day off. You do the only thing you can. You fly. You climb so high that Athens becomes a chaotic little dot far below. From up there, if you squint, it almost looks beautiful. An entire city pulsing with love. Uncontrolled, absurd, disproportionate, but love. You take a deep breath, wait for the arrows to shed their overcharge, and spend the next few hours descending and recalibrating each person one by one. The young man releases the column. The fishmonger releases the goat. The poet releases... No, the poet keeps kissing the poetry. Some cases are terminal. The sun sets over Athens. The city is more or less back to normal. The king was convinced that the goat was a metaphor. The couples have returned to tolerating each other at the right dosage. The priestess was calmed down with a great deal of incense and a formal apology that cost whatever remained of your divine dignity. You return to Olympus exhausted. Your wings are heavy, your quiver is empty, and Aphrodite is in the great hall with that smile of someone who watched the whole thing and thoroughly enjoyed herself. She says nothing. She just offers you a grape. You take it. It's the most bitter grape you've ever tasted. You lie down on your divine bed, staring at the marble ceiling, and realize that your arrows are already recharging on their own in the quiver. Tomorrow, it all starts again. A day off is a concept invented by mortals who have the option to stop. You don't. Love never stops. And you close your eyes, knowing that somewhere, right now, someone is about to do something stupid in the name of love. And tomorrow, you'll have to deal with it. The lesson of the day? Love doesn't need arrows to exist, but without the arrows, it's too honest. And too much honesty is the true enemy of any relationship. I know that. Eros knows that. And now, so do you. And speaking of causing destruction without needing a weapon, tomorrow, you wake up as someone who ruins lives with a smile, manipulates gods with a glance, and makes all of Olympus kneel without lifting a finger. No, it's not a villain. It's worse. It's his mother.